So Daphna, welcome to the show. I'm really pleased to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I got to know you a little bit when you were doing Pitch and Plate.
Yes.
We were doing some coaching together, and I found your story fascinating. And I loved the fact that you had this background as an activist, and that this is almost an act of, or an extension of your activism, doing BrEAThe Kitchen. So maybe explain to folks a little bit about how you came to discover that, what you wanted to do was actually the pies, and how did you get there?
Sure. Actually, it all started during COVID. I wasn't sure if my workplace would stay open or not. Now looking back, it was only closed for 2 weeks and I was still doing my pie. So it started at home. When I was in my 20s, I lived in London and I was a student there, and pies were a thing. It was always a thing. And I said, well, why not try? And I found out that in the market, I couldn't find any pies, real pies, especially not any vegan pies. I said, oh, that's a niche nobody's conquered, and maybe I can do it. And I like challenges. So I started at home, and then just on my social media, and people started ordering. It was pies and quiche. And it just grew organically. And then I realized I have to grow out of my house and still be and still do my day job in the office.
What were you doing as work?
I'm still doing it. It's not. I didn't even.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I saw in your question that you questioned it. I'm still doing it. I work with catalogs with the U.S. customers. That business that I'm at started as a family business for tools for chiros, for physios, and it just expanded to other categories like beauty, like toys. So now it's not a good time because of U.S. times.
How did that impact things?
Tariffs and stuff, we don't know. Every day changes, so we're focusing on Canadian customers. So I didn't quite leave it, and I do have staff, so that really helps. So I balance between those two. So if you ask me if I have a day off, I do not have a day off. But I enjoy what I'm doing.
I was going to say, it is a labor of love, though, right?
Yeah.
So that's okay.
It's not. It's more like I enjoy it so much that it doesn't matter. I mean,
right?
It's like I don't need. Well, probably I do, and I don't know that I do. That I do need time off, but it's like 24/7, and other activism, which I might not bring up here. So where were we?
But so what?
Oh, how I got to pies.
Yeah, but I just want to stop for a second. The parts where you said you don't have a day off. What would you do if you had a day off? What would you do with your time?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. I think maybe one of the reasons I don't have a day off because I don't know what I'll do on my day off. No, that's I've always been a busy person. I've always been
You like
active.
moving.
Yes. I think I'm like, if I don't do what I love doing, what am I going to do in a way?
Right.
I mean, I see it as my vocation, my this is what this is.
So work isn't work for you, or some work is work and some isn't? Like what?
I enjoy the engaging with people and talking to people, and that's a really nice part of the job. Yeah, of the work what we started to discussing about that. I've always been an activist, and this is in a way a new way that sort of rolled through COVID to make it different than standing. We talked about this, standing with signs on the street or just signing petitions, and this is my way of bringing veganism is through food, and just challenging stereotypes of saying, oh, vegan food. But although the past 2-3 years have been amazing, or even longer, have been amazing for the vegan, there's more like I don't know if you can cut it afterwards, but let's say in mainstream, if you wanted to look for vegan food, let's say I went to Safeway, they used to send me to the gluten-free, and I say, but I love gluten. What does it have to do with veganism?
Right.
And nowadays, I think it was a year or 2 years ago, you actually see how it moved mainstream. You actually see plant-based section in Safeway, which is extraordinary. I mean, maybe plant-based is like the soft word for vegan. Maybe the next step up would say vegan, but it's a big change.
Yeah.
So it's open to have new, healthier, sustainable options, products.
I was thinking when you were talking about like how you enjoyed it and making products, I was thinking about how much I love cooking and how much I think what motivates me with cooking is actually making products that I know people are going to be really happy.
I'm a giver.
Right? Yeah. So is that part of the motivation or is that a good part of the motivation? Is like, I know I'm making this product, people are going to eat it, and the joy that they're going to experience, they can feel my love through the products that I'm making.
Absolutely. That's something I enjoy. We have samples and tastes, and I was like, what do you think? And feedback and hearing and the whole thing around, because who doesn't love food, especially if it's good food? And I always say it doesn't matter what title it has, if it says vegan, if it says what, as long as what you enjoy.
Some people don't love food.
I know, but
that's a really weird thing to hear, being in the food industry, because like you're surrounded by people who love food. Yeah, but there are people who don't like food, and there's also people who don't like cooking. I had a colleague like
this, and we used to travel to trade shows, and I was like, "We're going to go to this restaurant." She was okay, let's go, but there was no
passion about what am I going to have.
I love food.
Me too.
You don't have to be huge or big to love food. That's not the.
But there's lots of people who don't like cooking. And so there's a little bit of a difference there. Like the ones who don't like food, well, I don't know. We probably wouldn't have a lot in common. But there's also that group that really hates cooking.
True. Yeah.
And those people are the ones I love cooking for the most, right? So I would
appreciate it.
Of course, because for me, it's like pastry is just next level of difficult for me. Like it took me 4 days to make an apple pie. Yeah. Like really, honestly, if I told you the story of how I made this apple pie, it was for my boyfriend. He was having his 50th birthday and he said, all I want is an apple pie. And I said, I've never made a pie. I've never made pastry in my life.
But at least you're not that one that goes to the shop, buys one and said, I made it.
No, I had to do it. I knew I was committed. I was in. It literally took me 4 days because I don't follow instructions. So I'm a terrible baker because I just like to do whatever I want to do. And so 4 days later, he finally gets his pie. It was just like this.
Wow.
And then when he asked for it this year, I said, it's not happening.
I'll buy happening.
One and done. So I have immense respect for you that you do this all the time, that you're making pastry. I think it's difficult. I do. I think there's you have to have a kind of a flair to make good pastry, right? I mean, people can make pastry, but to make good pastry is really hard. Right. So I've had your pastries. They're amazing, right? Your pies are incredible. So, I mean, it's partly that too, right? It's the love of making the food, but then like making it for someone like me who's not going to make pastry.
It's a whole combination.
Oh, I just like, then it's like, oh, Daphna.
There's so many parameters that work together. It's like feeding the people, feeding those who don't want to cook, and also bringing out the activism and veganism and showing people that you can have amazing food, and it doesn't have to have the meat substance or the animal substance in order to enjoy it. And that's where I'm at.
And so are you doing farmers markets?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Like a lot?
Sorry?
You're doing a lot of them?
Yes, we're doing Kitsilano and Trout Lake. And
so you really don't have a day off.
Fort Langley even, and we don't have it on.
So you're in retail?
Yes.
In no big way?
Well, the biggest chain store I would say would be Whole Foods Market. We just had a third-party audit 10 days ago.
Wow. Okay.
So that was...
So retail... And I know you're kind of in food service as well, to a degree, and farmers markets.
Yes.
So you are a very busy woman.
I am. But I enjoy every minute of it. It's like, it gives, it's so, dynamic and there's things happening and there's a lot of problems as well, along the way. I can't even.
This is what we talk about.
Things
it's just
come
like
up
this is, I know. It's like there's no such thing as like an easy path when you're making a food product.
So many, things along the way. If it's prices going up, right?
I know.
So there's so much. Maybe this is not going to be on either. There's so much you can ask for a pie, right? But then the rent goes up. And the ingredients go up, and the broker and the distributor, and for us also, it's because it's frozen food, so the shipping is more expensive than the regular.
Yes, of course. Frozen product is going to be the most expensive.
So
it's tough. I know, and it's a hard product to make. Like that's not like there's people out there that are making like dry mixes. I mean, that must beverages. Make you drool thinking, I could just make a dry mix. And
I know. Talking about that, for co-packers, I was at one point, I don't know, I was looking for a co-packer. So I don't know how people do it when they become really, if you don't open your own company, just give someone.
Sometimes you have to. That's what happened to me. I couldn't have my products co-packed because the process that I was using was what we call edgy. It wasn't going to fit the parameter of what a co-packer could do.
Yeah.
They wanted to do something to the product that to me was going to ruin the product because, they had certain processes that they wanted to follow. Yeah. And I wanted to do something edgier. And so it didn't work for me. And sometimes you have a product where it is going to be that way. It's going to be really hard for you to translate that.
That's the thing. But how do you make that next step? Because if you want to grow bigger, you have to sell in hundreds and thousands.
Yeah.
So I'm in that stage where do you jump? Where do you make that next jump? So it's not.
Well, it's either with people or it's with equipment, right? So that's the thing is the decision to make is either you move to the co-packer and you work with them and try and get that to work.
Yeah, but I can't find. Like you said, I could find a co-packer if I was doing mixes, powders, beverages,
I know,
sauces.
You have a tough product.
So
you have a
pastry
tough
and the filling. Even if I don't even mind doing 2 fillings now, just in order to. But it's
I know it's really hard. As part of the problem is that it is a complex product, and that makes it tough.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know how others if they don't have their own space.
Well, sometimes people do have to end up making their own, building their own facility or putting something else together because the co-pack situation doesn't work, right? It's not going to work, right? So there's also, here's the other thing that I think so going back to what we were talking about before about making your own products.
There is satisfaction.
Something gets lost in this,
for sure.
Right? So, people might say
production
this doesn't taste like BrEAThe Kitchen anymore, right?
Because each of our pies has it's like craftsman.
Yeah. It's because you are putting yourself in that, right? You are bringing your whole self to that process. And so I felt that too when I was making products. I didn't know how that could translate into something that was going to taste the same. Just because it wasn't going to have the same level of care.
Of your touch.
Yeah.
Of the final.
Yeah. So that makes it challenging too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What's the future of BrEAThe? Beyond
that's a good question.
Did I open up a can of worms?
No, you did not. But I question it myself every day because it's something I enjoy, right? Yeah. And in order to stretch it to jump the next level, I'm thinking of different routes and channels. So I don't have an answer yet.
Yeah. And I mean, I understand that. Again, as I said, it is a challenging product to make. And yes, those are the kind of decisions you have to make around that. I mean, there may be elements of the product that you could get co-packed. There could be elements of it that could be co-packed, like the pie crust, perhaps, and you could do your fillings, or I don't know.
It's a tricky combination.
Mm-hmm. There are companies that do this. It's just
I can't find them. Can you help me?
Maybe.
I couldn't find any.
There are some companies.
Last time I went to that, it didn't end up very well. If you remember.
3
years ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah. I know. And so sometimes that is what happens, is that is the decision you have to make. You kind of have to, sometimes we're brought in that fork in the road where it's like, I either have to let this go or I have to jump and kind of do my own thing, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah. And that's where you get to that place where you kind of have to say, okay, am I going to put a bunch of people to work doing this, or am I going to get some equipment? And these are all really big decisions,
I know,
right? These are all really heavy decisions to make.
They are. And you just want to make good pies that people will enjoy. And then it becomes other dilemmas and other issues.
I know. But you know what? Here's the thing that I think is really cool. That the people that I interview, we were talking recently in one of the podcasts about how products around the store have such a bad rap, because they'll say, well, just shop the perimeter of the store. Don't go inside the store. But in my mind, it's like, well, all the folks that I work with have fantastic products that are on the inside of the store and have a huge degree of making sure that what they're making is good for you. It's not bad for your health. Right. It's not full of preservatives and not full of bad dyes and all of those kinds of things, right? So I feel like there needs to be a bit of a re-education as well around, hey, processed foods, like lots of foods are processed. We process when we cook something. It's processed, right? So I think there needs to be a bit of a re-education around, look, there are lots of products that can be healthy options for you to purchase when you're too busy or you don't have the skill set and it takes you 4 days to make a pie, right? And you just want to buy the pie from someone who actually knows what they're doing.
That's why the market, that's so great, because those people already are in the mindset and they know so they go to the markets, which have fresh.
Exactly. Yes. And so if we can take that and kind of put it into the grocery store, and then with the understanding that, hey, it's not going to be $5, right? It's not going to be $5.
That's it.
You're getting a product that isn't full of preservatives and isn't full of sub-quality ingredients. And so therefore you need to pay what you'd pay if you were actually making it yourself.
Yeah. People don't,
Right? Well, if you add up the ingredients of you making a good dinner for yourself, it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same, right? So I think there does need to be a re-education, though, for sure.
That's your next step?
That's my next step. Well, we are doing a From the Ground Up consumer show.
Right.
And so that, I think, will actually help to tell that story about really looking at local in a different way and looking at processed food in a different way.
And we are looking in because of what's across the border.
And
so
what's
I think there'll be more
timing,
more local.
For sure. So tell the folks more about your background, because I don't think that, I know we talked about this when we were coaching.
I know, but I'm not sure how people will perceive it. So
what do you mean?
I don't know. Okay.
I think you just need to be who you are.
Okay.
And just tell the story.
Okay.
And I listen, I didn't know you before I coached you. And I thought your story was incredible. I thought it was wonderful, incredible. And I think that you're a woman of conviction. And I think you should share that with people, because that's actually part of what makes, people that have conviction like you do are not going to use sub-quality ingredients. They're going to make a great product, right? They're going to make sure that everything they put out there is fantastic. So I think it's good for people to know that, the person behind it, because it actually is a testament to why your products are so darn good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is my story. Okay. I grew up in Israel. My mom is still there. My sister's still there. And for some years in my 20s, I lived in London for 7 years. That's I already said that. And I'm a single mom. I have one daughter. She's amazing, of course. She's now second year university.
Nice.
And I moved to Canada 12 years ago. And that's where my journey started here with food. It started 3-4 years ago, like I said, through COVID. Yeah. And I've always been passionate about social justice issues, like especially animal liberation. I've always had that compassion to animals. Yeah. and I started engaging in groups here, and I was organizer. It's called Direct Action Everywhere. Their headquarters are in Berkeley, California.
Okay.
And it's an international organization, and we used to rally and march and all about animals. So activism has always been in me because I'm always looking for good causes to fight.
Yeah.
Good for the people, good for the planet, good for the. It's within me. It's something that is always.
Do you think it came from your parents, or what do you think it came from?
Justice is well. It's just it's my. I can't.
You're just like that as a child. Were you always like this?
I was always like
always
this.
Like
always
that.
like
Okay.
this. I'm trying to think if there's any there was any trigger that made it more. My trigger was always I used to be the kind of kid that told my mom that dogs or cats walked after me and brought them home, but I actually picked them up and brought them home. And then one day I had a dog come, and after a week she gave birth to 10 puppies. And there was just someone that followed me. I've always been intrigued with with things that are painful, hurtful, just touching it a bit more. And if I can help, that would be
to animals specifically, or to people, or to anybody.
But I think the animals are are less spoken for.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot speak for themselves.
Right.
I mean, there's always someone else is doing. You can't do everything, right? You can't cover everything. That's something that
I'm going to guess you have a lot of animals. Do you?
Well, I have cats.
There you go.
I've always had dogs. But once you're single and you have a kid, it's a bit difficult to have a dog.
Hard.
So I learned the world of the cats, which are fascinating.
I know they are, aren't they?
I think it's, when you think of it, it's the closest wild animal that you can see. Because sometimes you look at them play, it's more like two tigers. You can't see it anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
So
they are the closest to the wild you will ever get in a city or in your apartment.
It's an interesting perspective. I never thought of that. That's cool.
So I find it fascinating.
So how many cats do you have?
I have 4.
And they just followed you home, right? They just appeared one day.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm that story of a bad foster, because one of my cats. Actually, when we came over, I had a 17-year-old cat.
Wow!
And when we came over here with my daughter, people say, "Why you bring her over? Just leave her behind." I said, "She's my eldest. She's my eldest daughter. I can't leave her behind." And
I hear you.
And she lived 3 years afterwards, so I was happy. I mean, it's not that she died 2 months after, because it's a long flight. It's like 24 hours. It was the first thing. And other cat his name is Nosy, and he also has an interesting story. He's from Laos. He's a rescue. Yeah, he had a car accident and someone brought him over. And then the other 3 came together, and like I said, I'm a bad foster story. I was going to take them for a couple of weeks, which turned into a month, and they just stayed forever.
That's okay. I don't think that's bad. I think they probably feel like they won the lottery. Because the owner was never. Wow.
So I never had 4 cats. Always, I think it's a single or 2. I mean, you don't need. I think it's overpopulated.
Yeah.
I would never.
You don't want to know how many cats I had when I was a kid. If you have a backyard, that's absolutely fine. Oh yeah, I grew up in a house. We had a backyard, and we had, at one point, 5 cats, and they all had kittens.
When you have
about 16 kittens in the house.
When you live in an apartment, that's 4.
No, you can't. That's really tough.
So if it was my choice, it would stay at 2. But life happens, and it rolled like this. So I didn't throw them out.
Oh, you couldn't do that.
No,
that would
too
never
much
work.
attach. And then we, there's a lot of animal sanctuaries that we visit in Mission, in Langley. They're beautiful places to be and to enjoy those animals.
So, so do you see your business attaching to some kind of cause around that, besides just the fact that you are making a product that's vegan? And do
Yeah, I participate if there's any. I donate when I can. Any events I do, I would happily do. Even giveaways to activists.
Yeah,
they're out on the streets. I'm baking, but it's for them. I appreciate that kind of work. Well, activism. I think that we have a lot of things that we need to change and correct and open eyes and that's. Yeah.
Well, the world needs it, especially with all that's going on right now.
Yeah.
We need people to stand up, right? Nothing changes if people don't march or do something, right?
Oh, talk. Yeah.
Very hard for change to happen if the people don't rise up. So it's good.
And I'm very active. It doesn't mean I don't have a big heart for other issues. I organize weekly for the release of the 59 hostages that are still in Gaza.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's something every single Sunday for the past 19 months. So that's another, when you tell me about a free Sunday, that's my Sunday.
Wow.
So whatever I can do, I can do. If it's,
I feel like you've got this like huge heart. Like you just you must be a massive empath.
I do. It doesn't take away from my empathy to whatever's happening in Gaza or to other people. It doesn't conflict.
That's what I mean, though, is having a heart big enough to kind of put all that in there. It's wonderful, Daphna.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
where do you see this going then? Like,
we kind of drifted away from the business.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot, right? It sounds like you have an enormous amount on your plate. Do you see yourself moving towards this becoming like your focus, the BrEAThe being your main focus? Because you're also working.
I don't know if you want to you're going to air this, but I think in order to make money, you need to put more money in.
Right.
So at this time, unless I have investors or someone who says, Daphna, that's the way to go. Veganism, grow. Otherwise it's it is struggle, as you know.
So you need to get investment to go to the next level, right?
Because it's not just a cliche. It
takes money to make money. Yes, I know.
I
agree with you 100%.
Yeah, so
it's very
I think
tough
when
to
you
grow
start and you're excited and everything, this is not also to be aired. If you told me this 4 years ago, I don't know if it was a good idea to get into it. I know I have changed people's minds and hearts, and that was, but it's a difficult business. It's not that business. Right, left, and center, not just vegan, but small businesses who start or don't have a strong back.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know what happens to them. Like, I mean, what's the next step after Whole Foods in West Vancouver? East Vancouver, but I can't get there because of distribution.
Right.
So I think...
I know. I think actually that part of this has to do with the value of what is being offered, right? I think that is part of fundamentally what I think probably needs to shift is the value of what is being offered, to have a product that is that is processed but not unhealthy. It is a homemade meal that you're purchasing. You're not, it's like going to, if you went to a catering company and you bought a pie, you'd have no problem paying that price, if not more.
True.
Probably well more for a pie.
I think what I need to change is also maybe not just frozen. Maybe like now I see that you're talking about people that don't bake. There's a lot, you can also see it in general stores, that there's a lot of more ready food where it's already plated, let's say the pie and the side and the sides, which I don't make, but it's not difficult to make peas and mashed potatoes, which I do sometimes in markets when I have electricity, because I don't. So maybe but it's different. It's changing the whole business, because it's from fresh to frozen. Frozen, it's like, it gives me a bit more breath, breathe. Breathing.
It's shelf life, so it's time. It's not. I know
and
it's
a
not
different
it's really hard to do this. I know
yeah.
Fresh is really hard. It's a really hard business. I worked in Fresh. It's a really hard business.
Maybe frozen dinner, like TV dinner, but vegan. That was my vegan TV dinner. not in a healthy TV dinner.
Yeah, I know. Not Swanson's.
Yeah, because that's the...
Can you imagine? No.
Okay, I'll tell a little story that really made my day.
Okay. Tell us a story.
Some places in the markets, I do sell fresh pies.
Yes.
And this guy comes up and he said, "Oh, can I have..." And I think I told you this before, but in markets I have the canopy that says 100% vegan pies and quiches.
Okay.
Now, after I tell the story, it's obviously this guy didn't see it. So he comes up, "Can I have a beef and mushroom pie?" And I said, "Yes, for sure, go ahead." So I give him a hot pie. And he comes back really excited and he goes, "Oh, can I have one of the frozen? Can I have a beef and mushroom? And can I have the real chicken?" I said, "What do you mean real chicken? This is all vegan." He said, "No, what I just had, the beef and mushroom, is not beef." I said, "No, Lucy, there's an extra E. It's not, that's how we spell it." So so that excites me because it just shows that,
he didn't even know.
He didn't even notice.
He didn't even notice.
And I'm not even sure now, although you can't miss it. And also I have a banner and I have a big canopy drop back, whatever it's called. It says 100% vegan and with gluten-free options. I'm still sure that some people buy it without knowing.
Probably.
Yeah.
People don't pay attention to stuff.
No.
Right? They just see the pies. They're looking at the food.
Or even when they read chicken and it has a vegan sign, they don't see it.
No.
It has to have a vegan sign.
Yeah.
I can't.
Right.
So I follow the rules.
But that's a really good testament to your products, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And also, it's like, people that, if you're trying to encourage people to eat less meat, that's the way to do it, is give them something that they don't feel like they're sacrificing anything.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy didn't even know that he wasn't having beef.
I mean,
right?
the adjective doesn't matter. Just the bottom line is it's a good pie.
Right.
So who cares what I call it? What about a kangaroo pie or, I don't know, plant pie?
Right, exactly.
So that made my day that time.
That's great.
That's a good story.
That's a great story. A great way to end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, Daphna. It was lovely spending time talking to you.
Always lovely to talk to you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.